Hello! Welcome to my channel! Today, we're going to read a story about a goblin being chased by pirates. Once upon a time, deep in the dark and dank sewers of the city of Waterdeep, there lived a goblin named Sniz. Now, goblins are typically nasty, evil creatures who delight in nothing more than spreading misery and mayhem wherever they go. And young Sniz was no exception. He delighted in torturing little field mice, stealing shiny trinkets, and throwing rocks at passing pedestrians. Particularly if those pedestrians were However, one day, while he was out on his daily joyride, he came across something that truly caught his eye. Or rather, something that truly caught his nose. It was the most magnificent cheese that he had ever seen. A huge wheel of cheddar so large, it looked like a small boulder. And the smell, the smell was absolutely divine. Unfortunately for Sniz, the cheese was being guarded by a large, burly dwarf with a bushy beard and an even bushier set of eyebrows. In his hand, he hefted a large battle axe that looked like it could fell a small tree with a single blow. Now, normally, a brave adventurer might have stood a chance against such a fearsome opponent. But unfortunately for Sniz, he was neither brave nor an adventurer, just your typical cowardly goblin. So, what did he do? He ran, of course, making a mad dash for the nearest sewer entrance, and then disappearing into the labyrinthine tunnels below the city. The dwarf, whose name was Borin Stonehammer, gave chase, leaping over crates and barrels and sending rats scattering in their dozens. He was a warrior, after all, and not about to let some stinky goblin get away with his prize. As for Sniz, he didn't dare look back. He didn't need to. The sound of heavy footsteps and angry shouts echoed through the sewers, telling him that the dwarf was still right behind him. Suddenly, the tunnel opened up into a large cavern, and Sniz found himself face to face with a horde of goblins. About 24 of them, all armed with rusty swords and wicked-looking knives. Behind him, he could hear Borin call out in surprise, giving him just enough time to think of a plan. And what was that plan, you ask? Well, it was a simple one. All Sniz had to do was get those goblins on his side, and then they could all rule the sewers together. That meant only one thing: treasure. If he promised them a share of the cheese, they would surely be willing to help him out. So, that's what he did. As the horde of goblins advanced on him, brandishing their weapons and snarling, Sniz emptied his pockets onto the ground before them, revealing a collection of shiny copper pieces. Then, with a flourish, he held up the biggest piece. A massive 20 copper piece, worth nearly 100 small ones. The goblins hesitated, their eyes fixed on the shiny prize. Then, as if on cue, one of them lunged forward and snatched it up. The others followed suit, and before long, Sniz was surrounded by a gaggle of goblins, all clamoring for the treasure. Meanwhile, Borin had finally reached the chamber, and he, too, was eyeing the pile of coins. But when he saw the looks on those goblins' faces, he knew that they wouldn't stand a chance against the likes of him. With a grunt, he picked up the remaining coins and stuffed them into his pocket. Then he turned his attention to the cheese. Seeing the massive wheel of cheddar, his face broke into a wide grin. Soon, he was making his way through the tunnels, the sound of his laughter echoing behind him. And as for those goblins, well, they soon tired of playing nice and turned on one another, fighting over the scraps of cheese that Sniz had tossed to them. And that is the story of how a greedy goblin almost got away with a cheesy wheel and the many misadventures that befell him, and the heroes who tried to stop him. The end.